Okay. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session. So we are thankful for Mukesh to conduct this session on ready to go automation for UiPath Assistant. And Mukesh is a three-time UiPath MVP, and I think he will introduce him here. He will introduce himself during the session. So without much delay, over to you, Mukesh.
Thank you, Ghanshyam. I am just sharing my screen and let me know if you are able to see that. Share my screen. And
Yeah,
yeah.
we can.
Okay, so hi everyone. I hope you are doing good. Thank you for joining on this evening. And today I am going to talk something about ready to go automation for UiPath Assistant, right? When I talk about the title, it might sound very fancy, but trust me, at the end of this webinar, all of you would know that how you can use the ready to go automation with your UiPath Assistant, right? So today, when I say ready to go automations, we are going to talk about something which is called marketplace widgets, right? You might be at a different point of your career with UiPath. Some of you might be a beginner, intermediate, or expert. If you already know marketplace, you can always add on whatever I'm saying. If you're absolute beginner and you have more questions, you can always ask me on the chat. And at the end, we also have a Q&A session dedicated to that. Okay. So yes, today I would be a speaker. My name is Mukesh Kala. I am 3 times UiPath Most Valuable Professional. I am a certified UiPath trainer, and I have recently completed the UIRD as well, right? So this is a bit about yourself. You can follow me on the social media. I do have a YouTube channel where I teach UiPath, and I'm available on LinkedIn as well, right? So I would be happy to connect with you all guys there. Okay, cool. So talking of the agenda, guys, this would be our agenda for today, that what exactly is a marketplace, what is there for an individual, demo, prerequisite, how do you use that, and all of that in a bit moment, right? But before that, I want to ask some questions and I would be looking at the chat, right? So today, if I have to use some application on my mobile, right? Some of you are using iPhone, some of you would be Android, BlackBerry, or any different OS, or I would say mobile system, right? If today you have to do something on your mobile and you want an app to edit the photo, right? What do you guys do? I look at the chat. So today I have a requirement. I have to post my photo on Instagram and I want to edit my photo, right? And I don't have an app, right? What do I do? Do I directly open the code editor, which means I would open Visual Studio, I would open Java, I would write a code, then I will execute that code, then I'll edit the photo? Okay, Jay says that he will go to the Play Store and he will download the app. What about the others, guys? What do you guys do whenever you require some app? You have some requirement and you want to immediately do that, right? Do you guys write code yourself? Let's see what people have to say. Okay, so I believe Jay is an Android user, so he would go to the Play Store, right? So what about the other guys? How do you search the app, right? Or where do you look for the utility? What do you guys? You can use the chat. Let me just see if chat is accessible. Yes. Are you guys able to use the chat? Okay. Craig says that he will go and find in the Apple Store. Okay, fine. So from Play Store, we will download a photo editor app, right? Everybody is going to a place where we have an app, right? Now I have a second question for you guys. Somebody says, Ronak says that I will use the online tool, right? Now a question here, right? To Ronak, and anybody can answer, right? You people are saying that we always can go and use an online tool as well, right? I can go to a website, I can do all of this, right? Which one would be handy and easy to use? An app, or going to online, or writing the code myself? Right? App, right? I believe app would be always easy, right? Same thing applies to UiPath also, right? So today I have a small requirement. Let's say I am a very, kind of a messy person. I have a lot of data in a folder. Now I have to do that task again and again, right? So that is the fundamentals of RPA, right? If you are doing something again and again and again, that means that is a good process for robot. I can dedicate all that work to a robot. But let's say I do not want to write that code again and again, right? Wouldn't it be good if there is some app, if there is some Play Store, some app store where I can simply go, I can search my requirement, I get the app and I use it without writing a single piece of automation. Do you think it would be good? Just give me a thumbs up or let me know in the chat, right? Do you think it would be good if I get these ready-made automations, right? Everything available, don't use anything, just go here, tuck, 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 and my job is done, right? That is what it is called, the marketplace component. It is exactly the same what you guys do on the App Store, what you guys do on the Play Store. The same thing happens in this app, this marketplace widget as well, right? So that was the background, right? Let's quickly go to the presentation, and I won't show more of the presentation, right? It will be more of a things, and you guys can also follow along with me, right? Okay. Now, this thing is also known as ready to go automation. Now, why do I say it is ready to go automation? Because you don't have to write the automation. You just need a UiPath Assistant with a limited set of, I would say, configuration. You have the automations ready, right? For an individual user such as you and me, we can just use the pre-built automation. I don't have to write the code. I can existing code, I can utilize that, right? I no longer need to write everything from scratch, go to Apache Studio, create a new solution, build it, deploy it, right? Let's say I am a business user, right? I am the HOD of your university, or I am your faculty. I don't have that expertise and I'm more close to the business. I want to use automation, right? Do I need to write automation? Yes, we do have Studio X, right? But Studio X, again, you have to write code. But if there is a business user who have to do this, they can always use this thing, which is called the ready to go automation, right? And all of this functionality is available in the UiPath Assistant. It's not like that we are telling you to go and install something new, right? It's all available in the UiPath Assistant, right? So for those of you who do not understand what is UiPath Assistant, guys, whenever you go and you try to install UiPath, right? I go to cloud.uipath.com, we install the UiPath Studio, right? Whenever I install UiPath Studio, at the same time, my computer is also getting installed with UiPath Assistant. When I say UiPath Assistant, this guy is the actual robot who is actually doing the automation for you, right? To give more context on this thing, today Mukesh has to do some calculation, right, on my computer, right? You can say that, hey Mukesh, go and use the calculator app. Mukesh has to go and he has to create some Excels. I have to create some rows, do some calculation. You would say that go and use Excel, right? I have to send email, go use Outlook. Similarly, if I have to run automations, if I have to build a robot, right? If I have to run an automation, Notepad will not be able to do it. Calculator would not be able to do it. Excel would not be able to do it, right? I require some executable. That executable is called the UiPath Assistant, right? So UiPath Assistant is the guy who is responsible for running all the automation, be it a ready to go automation, be it a self-written automation from Studio, Studio X, wherever you write automation with UiPath, UiPath Assistant will execute that. Okay. Now, that was for individual, right? Quickly, you guys, some of you, I see you are from companies, right? What is there for an enterprise? What is there for a company or an organization, right? When the organization grow big in size, right? Today, I have a company of 5 employees. Tomorrow, we increase to 100 people, right? In every company, we have something which is called Center of Excellence. Now, I cannot tell all the 5,000 employees to go and write the code. At the same time, I want all the employees to not do the mundane and the repetitive task. So you are saying it's a contradictory statement, right? You are telling user not to write the code, but they should also not do the repetitive task. They can use this UiPath marketplace. So that is how it is being used in the companies, but you can also use it as an individual as well. Okay. Now, so that was about marketplace. Let's talk about where does it I can find this thing, right? So I'll just minimize this. Okay. So I have installed UiPath Studio on my computer, right? So you would see that I have this guy, which is called UiPath Assistant, right? How do I find it? You just go to a start menu and you can search here UiPath Assistant, right? So those of you who are seeing, you can also follow along with me. We are not going to build anything. So you would be also able to do the same thing, whatever I'm doing, right? We all simply have to go and UiPath Assistant, right? How do I get it? Because I have installed UiPath. So I just go and open this UiPath Assistant, right? And this should open here, right? If it is not available here, it would be available on your task manager or the taskbar. Okay, so I think my robot has got some error, but that's fine, right? So I can just restart and it will open. So this is where you see all the automations which are available. And this is the guy which is called the robot, right? Now at the top, you have this home, and here you have something which is called the marketplace, and it says ready to use automation from marketplace.uipath.com. I don't have to install anything. I just go here and I have all these components, right? But to use this, there are some prerequisites, right? How do you do that? If in case it is not visible to you, right? Why it is not visible, how you can delete, edit, modify, get the latest version. That is what I'm going to show next. Okay, so the first thing first, you need to have the UiPath Assistant. In the UiPath Assistant, you would have this third tab, which is enabled, right? Now, some of you will be having only these two tabs, reminders and this. Why don't you have that? Because maybe you're not satisfying the prerequisite. That is what I'm going to show next, right? If you are having this in your computer, in your UiPath Assistant, right? You can just drop me in the chat, or you can just say that yes, you have, or you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat so that I know that the people who already have this, you are good to go, right? So you can just open in the assistant and I'll just go to the presentation back. Okay, I'll wait for your comment and let me just open my presentation again. Okay. And yeah, Ganesh have, Raunak have it. Okay, fine, cool. So people already have it. That's awesome, right? Now, whenever we talk about this marketplace, right? So you need to have the UiPath Assistant 2021.10 or newer. When I say 2021.10, which means that you need to have a UiPath version of the year 2021 and the release is October, right? So recently UiPath has announced 2023.6, which means that the year is 23 and the month is June, right? June, correct, right? So for 2021.10, if you are in a version which is older than this, right? This is mostly for the people who are joining from enterprises, companies, or experienced developer, right? If your UiPath Assistant is older than this version, you will not see the marketplace component, right? So this is the first prerequisite for you guys to run the marketplace visit. Okay, now a question, right? How do I get the latest version? I am in 2022.10. I'm not having the latest version. Where can I get it, right? I'll quickly show that also. You simply, I'll just go to the browser. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, so in case you don't have the latest version, or in case you don't have UiPath at all, right? You just go to this website, which is called cloud.uipath.com. That's the URL, right? cloud.uipath.com, right? And you have to just create a login here. It will ask you for sign in. Once you log in here, you would have this thing here. Design your automation quickly, and you see this download button. Click on this download button and this will give you the UiPath Studio, and at the same time you will also get the UiPath Assistant. Okay, now as soon as you log in here, guys, you would also get Orchestrator, right? Here it is, this guy, Orchestrator, right? So the people who already know a little bit about UiPath, you guys understand that yes, we have something which is called Orchestrator, which is responsible for managing all the robots, right? If I have 10 automation, 20 automation, 50 automation, how do I manage? All that management happens with this guy, which is called Orchestrator, and which looks something like this, right? So again, if you are just starting your journey, I would always recommend you to first complete the UiPath Developer Foundation. When I'm sharing the links, I'll share you the link of that course also, right? So Developer Foundation will clear your all the basics. So this would be very handy, right? But to use the ready to go automation, you don't require any of this, right? So this is how you get the latest version of UiPath Studio. This was the first prerequisite, guys, that you need to have 2021.10, right? The second prerequisite is that in your marketplace, right? So this was the first one, right? So I'll just highlight this one. Yeah. So UiPath Assistant should be 2021 dot or the newer, right? Once you have this, you will have an easy access to the ready to go automation in the UiPath marketplace. You would have that thing, right? Now, a good thing, right? It is also available for offline users, right? Which means that if you're not connected to internet, then also you can use these guys, right? Same like our mobile app, right? Now, the second prerequisite is that you need to have the personal workspace configured on your orchestrator. Now, what is this and why it is important? Okay, I'll explain that. So, okay, so before going and explaining that, I'll just go to the chat and let's see what people are saying. Yeah. Yeah, Gansham. Yeah, you are not saying it, Gansham, because you might be in the older version. So you just need to update your UiPath Studio, the version, right? Okay. Now, I have a question, guys. Whenever you download an app from App Store or you download an app from Play Store, right? Where does it get installed? Right? If I go to the Play Store and I say install, right? Where exactly that app is installed? Can anybody tell me? Let me see what people have to say. Does it store, is it getting installed on my mobile or is it installed on cloud? It does not install, it installs. What do you guys think? What, whenever I click on that install button, what happens, right? Okay, it's installed on the phone, it installed on your phone storage, right? So whenever I install some app, whenever I do something, right, it needs some place to get stored, right? And where do you manage all of this, right? So let's say I'll just take Ganesh example, right? So Ganesh went to Play Store and he downloaded 100 apps. Now Ganesh storage is full. Now Ganesh wants to uninstall all of these apps. Where does Ganesh go? He will go to the App Store. He will go to the Play Store. That means he needs a place where we can manage this. And for the phone, you require some place where you can actually install it, right? Now, taking the same example, come here. Whenever I install a marketplace component, where exactly in orchestrator these would be stored, right? I require some place to manage all of this, to see all of this, to manage the version, to modify, delete, insert, add, right? That is the place. It is called a personal workspace, right? So whatever you install from this marketplace, that is available in the personal workspace. Now, where is that personal workspace and how do you enable? Let me quickly show it to you, right? So once you go to your orchestrator, okay, so this is your orchestrator, guys. When you go to cloud.uipath.com, you would have this guy here, the second one, which is orchestrator. uh, every time, most of the times it would be available for you guys, but if it is not available, then that is the case where I am showing it to you, right? So when you log into the orchestrator, in the home page you would have something which is called my workspace, right? So this is my workspace. Now who is my? The user who is logged into this orchestrator. So if I click here, you would notice that Mukesh Kala @outlook.com. For this user, this is his workspace. So whatever process I download from marketplace would be available here. Okay, see, this I have installed, right? This I have installed from marketplace when I was just doing this. This is where you would see all the places, right? So you just have to go to your orchestrator. You just can go to cloud.uipath.com. In here, you would see orchestrator, and here you would have something which is called my workspace, right? I'll take a pause. Can you guys tell me if you are able to see my workspace in your orchestrator? Just give me a thumbs up or let me know in the chat that yes, you are able to see. Okay. Ronak is able to see. Jay is always able to see, right? Okay. Sridevi is not able to see, right? Now, why that is happening, right? Because personal workspace is not enabled for you. Now, how do I enable it, right? It's absolutely simple. So the people who are not able to see the personal workspace, right? What you have to do is, let me just quickly, yeah. You have to go to the tenant, right? This here at the top, okay? In the tenant, you would have something which is called manage access, right? So in the tenant, this is my complete tenant. I want to manage access. And if I just keep my mouse, see, UiPath has made it very easy for us, right? Orchestrator users. So I go to manage access, okay? Tenant and then manage access, okay? And here you would see all the users, right? I am an individual, so I only have this many users, right? But think of a company, think of a college, university, enterprise, right? You would have a lot of users. So all you have to do is for whichever user you want to enable that personal workspace, you just go to that user. So my user is Mukesh Kala, right? So my name is single Kala, but somehow it I mistyped it, so that's why it's Kala. It's actually Mukesh Kala only, right? So whichever user you want to do these changes, right? Go here, click on these three dots, right? You would see an edit button here. Okay, I just click on that button, edit. Okay, and here in the first one, these are your general details, what is your name and all those settings. There is a second option, which is personal automation setup, right? This is my personal automation. I go to this second one, and here you see in the setting, enable a personal workspace for this user, which is the user for whom we are editing it, right? It's not for all the users. So I just go to the personal workspace, click on this, and you just click on update, right? Log out, log in, you should see the my workspace, right? So two settings, guys. The first one is you need to have a studio version of 2021 dot above, and you need to have the my workspace enabled. Why do you need my workspace? To see all the automations whichever you have installed, to manage, do all those kinds of things. You have to have these things, okay? So I hope everybody is able to follow along with me, okay? And you guys are able to see that, right? So this recording would be available, so you can always track back and just come back, and I'll share you the links where all these details is again available, okay? Now, so let me just quickly go to the presentation and see what do we have next. Okay, so that was about the UiPath marketplace. You just have to install it. The personal workspace need to be enabled for the user, okay? Updating the studio version, we have already seen. You just go to cloud.uipath.com, install the latest version, reinstall it, and you should see the marketplace visit. If still you are in the latest version and you are not seeing it, that means your personal workspace is not enabled. So only two settings are there. Okay. Now, this is how it looks, right? As you can see, this is a old version, right? 21.4.3, right? So this is a screenshot which I have taken from my old computer, right? As you can see, I am in 21.4.3, right? And we recently saw that we require 21.10. So if you are in older version of UiPath, you won't see that marketplace widget here, right? So that might be happening for some of you. Update your UiPath Studio, enable the personal workspace, you would see the third guy here. Okay, so this is an old screenshot. That is just to show you how does it feel, sorry, not feel, how does it see if you don't have the marketplace enabled for you. Okay, now how do you enable the personal workspace? Tenant, manage access, assign the roles, go to the user, whichever user you want to add the access, and enable the personal workspace. The same setting, you can also go and disable the personal workspace, right? I am, let's say, an admin of a college, right? And I don't want my all the users to have this visibility, right? So I'll just remove that. That is control from orchestrator. Okay, let's go for a demo. Okay, so now we have to go to this guy, which is called UiPath Assistant. Okay, and here, as you can see, in the home, this is all the automations we have, right? It would look something like this, right? Recent one, which are your recent automations, whatever automations you have, right? So this is coming from orchestrator everywhere. In the third one, you have the ready to go automation, which is called the marketplace, right? Now here, as you can see, manage my PDF files, okay? Shorten my URL, extract the data from a document, copy the text from an image, rename and move files from a folder, right? These are self-explanatory, right? Let me just ask you some questions, right? Let's say, what do you think this will do? Save all attachment from my emails. What do you guys think this app or this marketplace component will do, right? Okay, so yeah, I think Sri Devi says thank you for, okay, cool. Fine. So I have asking a question, right? What do you guys think this will do, right? Save all attachment from my email just by looking at the activity. I have not used it. You have not used it, right? Okay. It will save all the attachments which I am receiving in the inbox. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next one. Zip and unzip all the files in a folder, right? Self-explanatory, right? I want to zip, I want to unzip, right? Now, there may be some tricky part, right? So where I don't understand what does it do, right? So for example, let's go to here. This one. Look for internal industry, look up internal and industry references, right? I'm also not able to guess it what it is, right? Do I need to install it? The answer is no. Just click on that, go here, and it will show you who is the author, right? What is the certified? So whenever we talk about these components, we have silver, we have bronze, and we have gold certified, right? And then you also get the author who has uploaded it, right? And at the same time, you have an option for the documentation, which is nothing but a PDF guide. You can download it here, right? What else you can do? You can write a review, right? Same like I go to the Play Store and I say, hey, PUBG is a very good game. I don't like Free Fire, right? Same thing, you can go here, you can rate this app, write a comment, ask a question, right? Now, having said that, where exactly all these are available, right? How exactly my assistant is getting all of this from where? So the answer to that is you simply go to the browser, okay? And let me show you one more interesting thing here. Okay, I'll just go here and I say UiPath marketplace, right? So in case you forgot the URL also, guys, you just can go to Google and search for UiPath marketplace, marketplace.uipath.com. This is the place, right? Right. So this opens the marketplace for you, same like App Store, Play Store. You have the products here, assistant, right? UiPath Assistant, the same guy. I go here and I click on this guy, which is called UiPath Assistant. And we have all these available here, right? Ready to go automations, ready to go auto. See this tag? This is the same thing, right? Extract pages from a PDF file, get the daily NBA results, shorten my URL link, extract data from a document. This is from UiPath. Take a screenshot. This is from UiPath, right? These are the stars, which is the certified. You can see here how many downloads, right? You can relate it to your App Store or the Play Store, everything same, right? So whenever you come here and you say, ask a question, it will directly come to that page of this directly, this one, see? And you just need to sign in yourself. Now, good part about UiPath is that whatever login you have used for cloud.uipath.com, that same login is used everywhere in the UiPath Academy, in the marketplace, in the forum, in here, everywhere, right? So you don't have to create multiple accounts. Okay, so you just can sign in here, right? I'll just sign in and then I can write and review. I can give 5-star, 4-star, whatever my experience, and we can use it, right? So this is sign in and then I can write the review, right? And if you want to read about this, you can just go here and read about this, right? And if you want to see all the components, see, now I have this option to ask a question. I can write a review, right? I can go here, I can give 5-star, I can see all of these things I can do, right? Now, how do you use it? So for example, to take an example, what I have done is I have a folder here, okay? So in my data scattered, right? I have a lot of files which are scattered, right? PDF, images, Word file are there. There is some images, all lot of content is available here and there, right? This is a very messy folder. Now I have a simple requirement. I want to put all the PDFs in one folder. I want to put all the images in one folder and all the Word files in one folder, right? So if I have to do it manually, what would I do? I will go here, right click, create a new folder, name it as PDF, and I just put all the PDF here, right? So we manage, right? Mundane, repetitive task. I don't want to write the code. Can I do it with Assistant? The answer is yes, right? I'll simply go to the UiPath Assistant and I will search for, right? I want to organize. So I say organize. And I have something which is called organize my files by type. And I get this one, right? And how do I know? Because I am the author for this, right? So I have put this component here. So you have this video here, you have this documentation here, you can see it is silver certified, you can write a review and all of this. And here bottom, you would see something, install button, right? You click on install and it would be installed on your personal automation in the thing, right? It takes some time to install, 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, depending on the connectivity, right? You have, so I have already installed, right? Let's try to install something else. Let's say, I'll say we'll install this one, right? Take a screenshot. Okay, so we'll just try to install this one and I say install and installing, right? Absolutely simple thing. Just go and install it. Now, how do you use it and where it would be available? You go back to the automations here in the home, right? And here you would have all the automations which you have installed, right? So organize file by my type, I recently installed. This guy is getting installed here, right? The same concept, right? We have in Play Store and all, right? So I go here, organize file by type, and I say run the file. Okay. And this starts. See, as you can see, it is installing, right? App Store, we click, it does the installation and everything. And then it will give me the information. It will ask me the inputs. I'll provide the inputs. It will do the automation and I don't have to do anything, right? So now, if I just go here and I say, okay, I'll just run it. Okay, sorry, my bad. So I just came here and I just triggered it, right? So I didn't go to the information tab. I just rerun it, right? So now this utility is asking me, what is your input folder, right? So this activity which I have created, this is actually cleaning the folder, right? So it is asking me, what is your input folder? So I'll go to my folder. I'll pass this, that this is my scattered folder. It can be a downloads folder. It can be a C:D:, everything, right? What is the output folder path, right? How do I know what is the input output? Because this information is all available in the marketplace component in the PDF, right? So what is the output folder? So let me just go here and in the data, I create a new folder. I call this folder as sorted, right? So this is the folder which is sorted, right? So as you can see, this is empty. I'll copy this and pass it to the output folder. So this is my scattered folder. This is my output folder, not writing any code, just simply clicking on run, right? Now, what should happen? Robot will run in the background. As you can see, the green at the bottom indicates that there is something is happening. Operation completed successfully, right? Less than 2 seconds. Hit OK. Okay, completed. Let's go back to the automation. My scattered folder is blank, right? It's not deleted. In the sorted, now you can see all the PDFs are in one folder. All the PPTs are in one folder. All the images, PNGs are in one folder, right? All the docs, which means the Word file, are in one folder, right? If I have to do it as a human, how much time it would take? It would take a lot of time, right? I just use those ready to go automation. I'll take a pause and see in the comments, right? Do you guys like it? Yes, no, finding it interesting? Okay, somebody says interesting. I don't know about the others, right? Cool, cool. Okay, Ronak says cool. Karthik says really cool and super. Okay, fine. So now you can use this in multiple places to filter out this, filter out that, and all those things, right? So if you go here, see, that was just which I have created, I have installed, right? You guys can also create your own component, put it in the marketplace, right? But if you are not that experienced, right? I believe most of you are students. You can simply go here to the marketplace, right? And See, we have all these components which are available, right? To see all the list of components which you have, you simply have go to UiPath Marketplace, go here, and you have something which is called Assistant, right? And I'll show you one more interesting thing here, right? This is the place where you see all the existing components. Mac compatible, move to file, shorten my URL, this, right? Get file by path. I'll just go here, share the meeting, print my documents. This is the one which we just use. Compress my image, right? Set up a system shutdown by UiPath, right? Let's say I want to use this. So do I have to again go there? You can simply come to this website, open this, right? And I'll show you the connected experience here. See this guy? Install in Assistant, right? If I click on this guy, it is going to install this thing in my assistant. But now the question is, how would this guy know who are you, right? Is it Mukesh? Is it Vibhor? It is Ghanshyam? Is it Vivek, right? Who that is user is, right? So that is why at the beginning I told, right? Use the same email ID. I go here. You can see that Mukesh Kala @outlook.com. This is the account. When I go to my assistant, at the top, you see, I can just hover my mouse here. Yes. Yeah, right. So this is the same account, Mukesh Kala @outlook.com. So if I click install here, this will be installed on my UiPath Assistant. So you can install it from directly here as well, right? If you like this, you can always come here, do the comments and everything you can do, right? Now, some of you are experienced people who might be thinking, I want to become a publisher, right? So on the same page at the bottom, you have something which is called become a publisher. And you can publish, right? You will have a complete documentation that how you can publish, how do you approach, all of that is available here. Okay, now what else you can do? Let me go back to this guy. Okay, now, for example, I have installed something in my mobile, right? What do? I install it from the Play Store, and then there are some components, or I would say some app, which I use on regular basis, right? Which I use daily, let's say WhatsApp, right? So what do you do with those apps? Whichever you use on daily basis, right? What do you do with those apps? Let's see in the chat. So I have installed 10 apps. Out of those 10 apps, there are 2 apps, let's say WhatsApp and Instagram, I am using on daily basis, right? So to quickly access those apps, what do I do with those apps? Shortcut on home screen? Yes, I can keep in the recents. Absolutely. Now, I keep those apps on the front page. Absolutely correct, right? Same concept is applicable to here as well. I have these automation, and as you can see, Mukesh has got a lot of automations, right? Every day I come here, I search this, right? Does not make sense. Can I create a shortcut? Answer is yes, right? Simply have go to the app, which is organized file by my type, right? This one we have recently installed 5 minutes ago. In the 3 dots, create desktop shortcut. Create desktop shortcut. Click on it. And now if I go to my desktop, see a shortcut was created. You can find it on your desktop, right? Let's go to my desktop and find it out. Okay, so I'll go to my desktop. Okay. Actually, I have hidden this show desktop icons. And here it is, right? See, organize my file by type. So all I have to do is whenever I require this shortcut, I just come here and double click on this. And that triggers whatever you wanted to do, right? And as you can see, it started at the bottom. See, this green indicates the robot is working, right? Now, next question, guys. If you have installed some app and you are not liking it, right? What do you do with that app? So you install some app and you are not liking it, right? So I can uninstall, right? Same concept applicable to here as well, right? You can uninstall the app as well, right? How do you do that? You just go here, click on these 3 dots, delete the personal automation, right? Delete the personal automation. This will remove this personal automation from your thing, right? Now, one more thing I want to show you here. whatever automation you install from the marketplace, right? All these automation would be visible where? All these automations, whatever we install from the assistant, right? All these automation would be available in your orchestrator, in the my workspace, in the processes. See, organize file by my type and take my screenshot. These are the same thing which I have installed. Okay, so that is why you need to have the UiPath version and you need to have the my workspace enabled at the top, right? As you can see, both of them are available here. I can go here, I can explore the package, I can remove it, right? Now, one more thing which is available here is that, let me show it to you here. You can trigger this automation from here as well, which is from your orchestrator as well. Now you might be thinking why that is required, right? So for example, this is my computer, right? I am away from my home. I can take my mobile device, right? Orchestrator has a mobile app. It has a tablet app. You can go to your mobile. You can log into the orchestrator. You can trigger the app and that will fire up your automation, which is on your computer. Interesting, right? So you can control your automations from anywhere, right? So you can have some robots, right? Working on the system. You're not available at the home. I want to run it. I go take my mobile. I go to cloud.uipath.com, right? You don't have to go to the browser, right? I'm not talking about the browser. I'm talking about Orchestrator mobile app. So if you'll go to the Play Store, if you go to the App Store, you have a Orchestrator mobile app. Install it, run it from here, and that will automatically trigger whichever you are connected to, right? Okay, so somebody, Ronak, once after creating a shortcut at the desktop, right? Can we change the input and the output path, right? Absolutely, you can change it, right? So whenever you run any component, right? Whenever you go here and you click on this, right? You have this thing which is called information. Okay, so by default, whenever you run it for the first time, right? It asks you, do you want to save? So I clicked on the save button. That is why my information is saved here, right? If I remove this, and when I run it and I don't save it, right? If I just don't clear it, are you sure you want to restore? Yes, now it is all clean. Now when I run it, it would be absolutely clean. But let's say you want to do the same setup again and again, right? So I have a folder where I have got 15 documents. I want to print them, all of them at once, right? Rather than going to one document printing, I just go here, I set up the path to fixed and I run it, go to the desktop, double click, run it. It will run it the root, right? But to answer your question, you can simply come to the information, clear it and don't save it. So it would be always a fresh thing. Okay. And as you can see, this is available here. You can trigger it from here as well. Insert, remove, delete, everything, right? To know more about the components, you can just go to this this marketplace.com from here, and you have all those details which are available, right? How this is done. You have a system guide, version, when it was updated, all the detail, right? Whatever app we can have, we can do that. The last interesting thing about this app is the shortcut. Okay. In the mobile, we can have tick, double click and run it, right? So if I have to run the automation quickly on my computer, right? So I'm doing some work and I don't want to come to the desktop or I go here, right? I quickly want to happen it with the keyboard. So you can actually assign keyboard shortcut also to these guys. So organize file by my type, right? This was the thing. In here, if you see, click on these three dots and I'll just go here and see here, keyboard shortcut. Run the automation with. Now you can set up a shortcut, right? So let's say whenever I press Control SDC, just random thing, right? I'm Control C is copy, right? So let's say I say Control Shift E, right? Control Shift E, whenever I press, I want to run this automation. So I just go here and I press Control Shift E. I click on save, right? Now, if I just press Control Shift E, you can see automation has automatically started, right? So interesting, right? Do you like this feature? Let me know in the chat, because I personally use this thing a lot, right? So I'm doing a lot of work in Excel, right? And suddenly I thought, oh, I want to take a screenshot, right? Now I cannot go to assistant, take a screenshot, right? I simply say that Alt S, which is the shortcut to take screenshot. Alt S, take the screenshot, keep on saving, right? I'll tell you a real-time example, right? So for example, you're watching some tutorial on YouTube, right? And you have a thing that, okay, I want to take screenshot, so you are watching in full screen. One thing is print screen, save and all, right? I assigned this shortcut and I just press that key, Alt S, Alt S, Alt S, right? Take screenshot, save it to that location immediately, right? So that you can do, right? You have a lot of images, you want to extract the text out of images, right? Go to UiPath, write an OCR, always do that. You have direct marketplace activity which can extract text from images and do this processing, right? All of that is available in this guy here. You can explore all of this and it will have a lot of it. It is very handy for you guys to use. Okay. Now, desktop shortcuts we have talked. How do you remove components? You can remove it from orchestrator. You can remove it from the directly the assistant, right? Where do you find all the components? You go to marketplace.com and it has all the components. That's it, guys. So that is all I wanted to cover in this tutorial, right? If you have any more questions or any questions, I would say, right? I see some of the questions from this thing from the chat, right? You can ask me here. This is about me. You can follow me on the social media. I'll put all these links on the chat, right? And if you have any more questions, you can just ask me, or you can unmute yourself, or you can just put it in the chat as well, right? So I'm monitoring the chat as well, right? Okay, I'll again paste it. Yeah. So these are my details, guys. You can connect me on the Instagram, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel also, right? Okay, so let's see the questions now. While creating an automation in Google Workspace, I cannot access the variables that I created after the automation. Shy win, right? So I would request you guys to ask the questions which is relevant to this webinar, right? Because there is a lot of audience who is coming with this background. So Shaivin, I would request you to post this question on forum.uipath.com, right? Because we need to understand the background of whatever you have created, right? So this would not be the correct forum to answer that, right? Apologies for that, but please use UiPath forum to get this, right? So when I say questions, right, guys, that is related to this webinar, right? If not questions, how was your feedback, experiences, right? It was a cool session, right? Now, I would like you guys to just simply, if you like this session, if you wanted to post, right, just share your experiences, feedback with your colleagues, with your faculties, right? You can write a LinkedIn post. You can tag myself, Vibhor, Ghanshyam there, right? Let us know the feedback of this thing, right? And if you have more questions, you can always ask me after this session as well. Okay, so super cool session, had a very valuable time. Okay, anybody else? If you guys want to unmute yourself, you can always do that and ask the questions, right? Okay. Any feedback, guys? How often do ready to go automation get created and added, right? So this is a initiative, Craig, which is from users, which is from UiPath, from the experts, right? So as people just go and submit marketplace component, it is available, right? There is no fixed date. There is a process of getting this component added. So if I start today, there is a team of UiPath developers, moderators, community moderators who see your component. Is it error free? Is it not duplicate? It is not copied? It is adding value. As soon as that process is completed, that component is available for you, right? So there is no fix that okay, today you are getting this component. It keeps on adding. As soon as the developers keeps on adding them, UiPath also edit it from themselves. We get it a lot from the developers, a lot from UiPath, right? So you would always see a new components getting added. I hope that answers. And thank you for asking that, Craig. Okay, so I'll just ask one last question, guys. How was your feedback, right? Was it good? Was it informative? I see only from Jay, right? I don't know about others. Are you guys still with us? Right? You can always share your feedback. If it is not good at all, right? You can always tell us how we can improve the session, right? That will also help me in personally improving the sessions, right? So that is it from my side. Over to you, Ghanshyam, viewer. Hello, Ghanshyam, you there?
Yeah. I was just
Okay.
unmuting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mukesh. Thanks for a wonderful session. I think there are some things which probably will help in some of my work as well, and I'm planning to use a few of these marketplace existing apps, like existing automations available.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like if there are few more questions, feel free to maybe unmute yourself or put it in the chat window. If not, we also wanted to share a quick update. So the applications for the UiPath Student Champion program is opening again. So we have completed the program for 2 years. So let me stop the recording for this.